everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today we are talking fitness, pillow, chat, whatever you want to call it. I have some thoughts and comments and opinions about how this last week went. I'm officially 1 week into my fitness journaling. That's what I held up in the thumbnail. I ended up getting an Erin Condren, and this is a vegan leather cover in Bloom. I love it. I've talked about it on this channel, and I picked it up. I even got a rose gold coil for the first time, and I'm super excited about it. And this one, I just do a little bit of journaling, and then, of course, it's super private. It's just talking about how my fitness is going, how my weight is going. I'm starting to daily weigh, and it's interesting. It's like interesting seeing the fluctuations, and I'm glad I'm doing this experiment, which I'll talk about in a second. But this is what the pages look like. I just write my weight in and then fill out the little, like, a couple sentences of how I'm thinking and feeling. Some of it's really personal. I try to have a positive mindset on this because fitness and healthy weight and all this stuff can be really negative for people, and I never want to approach it in that way where it's like I dislike things about my body and I hate things. I want to approach this in a way to where I love my body, but I also want to improve it. I love certain aspects of my body, but I also would like to see changes. Things like that, where it's not strictly a negative situation. I'm taking this off, it's bothering me on my wrist. But I want it to be something where it's I know my body's capable, I know my body's strong, I want to be a reflection of my best possible self, and that's where I'm approaching it. I want to fuel my body, I want to feed it food that's going to make it healthy and feel good, and not just fill it full of junk and processed things that are going to leave me not feeling as great. So that's the approach I have on it. And by the way, Hot Mess Express, it's the end of the day. I am using a ring light. We're trying it out for the first time. I ordered this, I think, last week, and I've had it sitting here, and I haven't wanted to film at night because, you know, lazy. But I finally had things to say, and I wanted to come in here and film, so I don't know how it's gonna look in editing. It looks pretty good on the screen. We'll see how it goes in editing. I can adjust the color on it a little bit, add more lights as needed. But anyway, the journaling and the daily weighing is going really well. I have a scale that hooks to my phone. I think that's how to say it. Renpho. I don't know. It reminds me of the movie Tom and Huck, and it had Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Brad Renfro in it. And so I always want to say Renfro instead of Renfo or Renpo or Renpro. I don't exactly know, but that's how I say it. I say it like the little actor from the movie. Although back I had the VHS, watched it all the time. It was one of my favorite ones for a long time. Anyway, I have that scale. I will link it down below. I really like it. I had the tape measure too, but I told you guys last week the unfortunate thing, it is no longer working at this current moment. So I have to figure something else out for measuring. I do have an old school tape measure, but I really like the app where you just plug it in and then you can see it and you can see the trends. It has a bar graph. It's very cool, but yeah, don't have that right now except for the scale. So I've been weighing myself every morning. It's very consistent, right when I wake up. That's my new morning routine, first thing right when I wake up, and it's been working really well. It's interesting to see how vastly different it can be from day to day. I was just weighing myself once a week, if that, and for a long time I hadn't been weighing myself once a week. So it's really interesting to see how much it can change from day to day, and it fluctuated quite a bit. So this was me starting tracking food. I started weighing myself daily, pretty much on the offset, and I went down 3.8 pounds in a week, and that was not because of actual fat loss. It was just due to bloating and water retention and all that stuff. I'm feeling pretty good about that, even though I know it's not actual fat loss. You know, some of it may have been, but not the bulk of it. The bulk of it was just fluid loss due to XYZ, you know? Things change, fluctuate, but first thing back this week, I am up almost the exact same amount that I lost last week, and it is because of one thing. My period's coming, and I'm so I was yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, I know it's not fat loss, and I know it fluctuates up to 10 pounds, so 5 pounds either way, it's not a big deal, and I know it's only been 1 week, but to see it shoot right back up and know that I'm bloated for that, and I feel like every time my period comes around, I get so bloated and I look really pot-bellied, and I totally saw it on the scale represented, and I'm dang it. I got really down about it today, and of course, I have really rough PMS symptoms now. I'm going to the doctor at the end of this month to just check everything out because I totally feel like a hormonal teenage girl, at least like half of the month now, and that is not normal for me. I know I'm at that age where things could start changing hormone-wise. I'm mid-30s now, so I know it could be that, but I feel like I'm going through second puberty. Like I feel crazy like half the month now, and it's just weird to feel like that. Like sometimes during postpartum I would have these episodes where it's like I'm angry, I want to cry, I want to eat everything in sight, I feel crazy, like all these things for a couple of days here and there. But this is just like on a so different level. Like the last few months, the PMS symptoms have been out of control for me, and the first couple of days of my period have been really rough. So I just call it second puberty because that's kind of what it feels like to me. But seeing it like sketched out in black and white on the scale, the number going right back up because it's just right before my period, it's just annoying, like seeing it on the scale. But I also am starving today. I've been really good about tracking things, and I still had a cheat day, and it was great. I still had a couple of rest days built in. Those were great, and I saw things reflected, you know, during this, but I didn't feel like this was that hard until today. Like today I wanted to eat everything in sight. I ate a huge lunch. I ate enough 7-layer dip today to like feed an army, and I also ate so many cookies. We made like the cookie flag cake again. It has blueberries and, you know, red berries on it with the icing, and it's super pretty. I ate like a billion pieces of that cake today, and it was so good, and I still want more. Like I'm still just starving, and I know it's not because I'm actually hungry at this point. Like I've tracked everything. I'm way over my calories for today because I told you guys I'm not gonna like starve myself, even though I know today, like this girl's well fed. She's not starving, but I wanted the treats. I got the treats, and I'll, you know, do better the next day or whatever. But I know I'm well fed today, especially. I'm way over on my calories, but I'm still starving. Like I just feel super ravenous today, and I know it's PMS and it's really irritating me. So I really wanted to come on here and just rant to you guys about how annoying it is when you're like trying to stay on track and your hormones are going crazy, and all you want to do is eat a whole gallon of ice cream and all the cookies. And it just sounds crazy, but we're gonna take a water break. I got my Shell Yeah cup. Shell Yeah. It's just a Tervis cup. It's got water in it. So anyway, all that to say, things are out of control today, but I will rein it in tomorrow. I've also been really good about tracking everything. I've been weighing certain things, like really calorie dense things. I will weigh those. Like if I have a snack, I'll weigh or measure my snack. Like my sweet treat, I've had a couple of different nights. I've had like calories left over and just wanted a little snack, and it ends up being like I hit my protein, I hit my fat, and I'm way low on carbs, so I can really pick out like a really nice carby snack. So I've been having cereal some nights, and I just literally measure out a scoop of cereal, and that's my snack, and it's fulfilling, satiating, it meets my needs on the calorie tracker, and it's just like a win-win all around. And I find that it's not been super hard. I feel like every once in a while I have a day where I'm like, you know, I really want a bag of chips or something, but overall I'm really feeling like I'm doing a pretty good job like sticking with it, aside from today. Like all heck broke loose today. I'm like, I just want to eat all my feelings today. But otherwise, the week went really well. I have some notes written. That was all my rant. Let's get into my actual like PELO chat notes. I had 2 big things happen. So for one, I got my 400th ride, and I was super excited about this. I knew it was coming up, and I thought to myself, like, I'll look and see if there's a live ride that I can take so I can maybe get a shout out. And I really like to just have this milestone of taking a live ride for a big milestone. So I'm like, okay, great, I'll check the schedule, and nothing fit into my schedule. I'm of course looking at Bradley Rose's rides and Cody Rigsby's rides. And Cody Rigsby's rides are really weird timing for me. It's like right in the middle of dinner or middle of the day, and we're home. I can't just like go at like 11:30 and go ride my bike. It has to be certain hours. And so Bradley Rose's sometimes really work well because they're early in the morning, and they're also right at Stella's nap time. And it just so happened his rides were like bumped up an hour early certain days, and then he had some encore rides at certain days. And then I didn't even see rides posted for like the 2 Saturdays coming up. And I was like, dang it, okay, I'm gonna miss this 400th ride. Didn't think anything of it. I just was kind of like bummed about it. So I thought I'll take a live when I hit 500 rides, because that's a bigger milestone anyway. But I thought, I'll miss this one. I was a little bit bummed about it, didn't think anything of it. And then I looked in the Bradley Rose group, and they were talking about, it was a Friday night or a Thursday night, they were talking about a Wimbledon ride coming up. I was like, I haven't seen a Wimbledon live ride show up. And I totally must have overlooked it, because they're like, yeah, Saturday morning, we're gonna ride this one. And I was like, oh, I can do Saturday morning. And I checked the schedule, sure enough, 6 a.m. Saturday morning, and I tend to like to do my Pelofondos on Saturday mornings anyway, so it was perfect. So I ended up taking that one. It was a really good ride. I'd recommend it. And he did give me a quick little shout out. He rattled off my name with a bunch of other people's names, and I'm not going to put it in here because the DMCA or whatever copyright claimed my last video where I showed the little snippet because it was playing a Creed song in the background when he did my shout out, and they copyright claimed my video, and it was really effing annoying and obnoxious and totally fair use. I did end up like responding to it and getting my copyright stuff done. They didn't strike my channel or anything, but they definitely like tried to claim my money, which is like, okay, take my 15 cents or whatever. Like, I'm just irritated at the principle of it. It's like, I want my video not to be suppressed. I want to be able to like show everybody, look, I got this really good shout out. And yeah, they did that. So I'm not about to show it to you guys, but I'll link to the ride and you can check it out. It's literally like the last 2 minutes of class. He shouts out my name. Really quick snippet thing, but I was happy to take it live and get high fives from everybody. The Bradley Rose Facebook group is really awesome. If you like Bradley Rose, I definitely recommend checking it out, joining that group. It's just such a great motivating group. I really, really like them. So yeah, 400th ride. I'm like at 402 now. I've taken a few since then. Actually, I have 3 big things to say. So that was number 1. Number 2 is not really all that much Peloton related, except I ride the Peloton to get the points. So I moved the medals over here. I'll show you a quick sneak peek. I ended up getting a little medal holder and spray painting it teal to match the room. And then Johnny helped me hang it up and make it perfectly like centered and leveled. And I got my medals hung on that. I started using the virtual challenges again because I ended up getting some referral ones. So that video all of a sudden like picked up steam where I was reviewing the virtual challenges, and people have been using my link, which I think is awesome. So I've gotten a couple of free challenges. So I ended up getting one, I think it was like 175 miles. It was Alps to Ocean. And the medal is really pretty. It's got lots of teal on it. And I ended up completing that. So I've been tracking that for a little while, and it was a pretty big one, like 175 or something. I can't remember. It's late and I'm brain dead at this point, but I ended up getting that medal. They're going to ship it to me here coming up soon, so I will be sure to show it to you guys. But I ended up getting that, and I'm going to do one for Pelofondo too. The one that totally drew me in the beginning was the one that was Hana. It was a Hawaiian one. It's beautiful. It's got the little blossoms on it, and I wanted that one for so long. I'm going to use that one for Pelofondo. So it is like 64 point something miles, but I pledged 65 miles for Pelofondo at the end of the month, and so I'm going to try to log them in the app and use that to get the medal. So I'm very excited about that. I also ordered the charity medal for the Pelofondo because it is an Alzheimer's charity. And if you've followed me for any amount of time, like way back in the day, I was pre-med. I job shadowed my neurologist, and I absolutely love neurology. I would have loved to be a doctor and study neurology, but it just was not in my cards. I was super sick with migraines, and I just barely finished undergrad, and it took me a really freaking long time because I had so many migraines, and I just knew I could not handle the stress of med school or anything. I ended up with a migraine the day of my MCAT and took the MCAT with a migraine. I did end up getting like right at an average score, but I was sick. Like, I was fighting my body so hard to even like show up and take it, and it was some of the hardest things I did was trying to finish college, but I just knew it was not in the cards to like go to med school and do all that stuff because my migraines, my chronic illness totally got in the way. But anyway, I just love all things neurology. I still read like sciencey, nerdy stuff, and it's a little brain on the medal, so I'm so geeked out like looking at it. It's super cute. So I'm really happy to donate and get my cute little medal for that. But yeah, all that to say, I'm doing the virtual challenges again because people keep seeing the video and trying out the challenges. So I've gotten a few free ones, and I will show them to you guys as they come. I'll do more videos about it. Again, like, I'm not super excited about like the map. I thought I would really like looking at the map and zooming in and like following the trail. I don't care about that part at all. I just really like logging the miles. It will show me my miles for the certain medal, whatever challenge you're doing, and then it'll show you your year total. And I'm like super geeked out about these totals and being able to track it. And I finish my ride, check my mileage, and like enter it in immediately because I'm super excited to track it. That part has been fun. And when I got down to like the last 30 miles of it, I was like, I need to ride more so that I can do it. So it did end up after the initial one, the second one, it did end up motivating me to ride more because I ordinarily wouldn't have ridden all of the days that I rode, but because I was so close to the accomplishment, I ended up having to ride. So I find that I do really like the postcard aspect of it, the charity aspect of it, the medals themselves. The app is really intuitive. I like that, but I just don't find the map that exciting. To be honest, I picked the medals based on the distance and how pretty they are. And I kind of rolled the second one in there. The third one I was going to talk about, I kind of rolled it in there, talking about we worked on the home gym a little bit. So I ended up moving a cube shelf in there. So now I have all my little home gym stuff in there. It's not in here anymore. A metal organizer hung up, and we also got a mirror. Somebody was getting rid of one of those like big, you know, master bathroom mirrors. I ended up snagging it from them. They were gonna trash it anyway. It is like rough around the edges, but I can totally put a frame around it. It doesn't bother me at all, but we're gonna mount that in there at some point as well. And I'm super excited. The room is starting to look like a little room. And one of the biggest things that has happened especially the last week, started a little bit before that, Johnny started working out with me. He has been in there a few times, and we tried out the home gym at the same time. And we've been in there, I think, twice now, like working out together. And it's so helpful, like to have him on the same page. It's something I've totally been doing for me and, you know, to better myself, but it's also really nice to have that support, like somebody else doing that work with you. He hasn't been snacking in the evening as much, and that was part of the hardest thing. Is like evening snacking is totally my weakness, and to see him sitting there snacking right next to me, sometimes that's really hard for me to resist because I'm like, he's eating some really good looking yummy snacks and I have to be good. Like, I've used my calories for the day. I don't want to push it, and I don't really want it. It's just because it's right there and I can see it and it looks tasty and smells tasty. That part's been a really hard temptation, and he hasn't been doing that as much. He's really trying to change some habits as well, and just to see him trying to better himself motivates me to keep bettering myself as well. I just, like, when he was in there working out with me, I pushed harder because he was there with me. And it's same with like the moms group. At the moms group, I always go, I'm like, I'm just gonna show up and kind of like half-ass it. And then I never do because everybody else is full it. So I never like sit back and don't do the workout because I see them working hard and it motivates me and makes me want to work hard too. So seeing him in there pumping, I want to pump as well. So that's been a really nice thing to happen. As far as favorite classes, I have one pop punk one I took last night. Was awesome. It played lots of good songs. I will link to it down below. It's just a Bradley Rose pop punk, and it's one of his recent ones. And also there was a class I did, it was on the Hardcore on the Floor calendar, and it was listed as you take this 10-minute glutes and legs class, and then you take a bar class, and then you take the same exact 10-minute glutes and legs class. And it was basically squats and deadlifts. That was all it was. So for 1 minute you do 10 squats and then take a break. The next minute you do 10 Romanian deadlifts, take a break, and back and forth the whole 10 minutes. So at the end of the 10 minutes you had 50 squats and 50 deadlifts, and it was a lot. And then you take it again, and so you get 50 more of each one. So you're doing 100 squats and 100 deadlifts. I did this yesterday. I had only had time in the morning for one because Stella woke up early. She's been a little bit sick, so she's coughed herself awake a few times. She's just not sleeping great. So I took it, had to get her up, and then at the end of the day I took it again. So I ended up doing 100 all together, and I was like, dang, I feel like super powerful that I could sit there and do this. I used 15-pound weights the entire time. I did not drop weight, even though like the last couple of rounds, each 10 minutes was really hard. I'm a little bit sore today, not as sore as I expected. I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to sit on the toilet without like hurting myself. But I was really happy to get it done, and thankfully not so sore today. Since it's summertime, I really try to go to the moms group as much as possible. I usually tend to skip like one day because in the middle of the week, I just need a rest day. So I've been skipping either Wednesday or Thursday. And I really just love the moms group. Totally a motivating thing, and the kids love it too. So it's a good way for us to just get out of the house early in the morning before it gets way too hot. It's still hot, it is Texas, but it's not like sweltering at that point in time yet. So we've been doing that most days, and during the school year, Stella had her class in the morning, so I wouldn't be able to go one day a week anyway because Stella's dance class. But I don't know what the schedule is going to look like in the next school year since she's doing a different class. She's doing one where I don't get to go in the room with her. Like, I was doing the mommy and me with her, and now she's old enough, she's doing the class all on her own. So I don't know if it's just gonna be an afternoon class now, and maybe we'll go to the mom's group as many days as possible again, just in the school year. We'll have to see, I don't really know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to talk about. I wanted to rant a little bit because I was super irritated. I knew this was coming. Every month this happens. I know it's not a surprise. I know it's not earth-shattering. It doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, like looking at the number doesn't really matter. First of all, I'm trying to do body recomp. So I'm eating the protein, trying to do the deficit so I lose the actual fat, but I'm still trying to gain muscle. So at the end of the day, like it's gonna offset anyway. And I know I will drop down some weight. I mean, that's part of the plan, but I'm not gonna drop down super fast because I am so like not muscly that any muscle I do add is really gonna offset quickly. So I know not to expect a whole lot for quite a while, but it's just disheartening. I worked so hard last week and to just be like basically right where I was. I'm down like 0.6 of a pound, which is still really good. Like I shouldn't knock it. That's a really good progress for a week, but I'm like, I was so far down. I was losing the bloat and the inflammation and all that stuff from eating too much junk food and like sticking to normal proportion sizes and stuff. And to just see it all be undone just because of stupid hormones is just infuriating. I wanted to talk about it a little bit and know, like, if this happens to you, which it does probably if you're a woman, it's totally normal. And like the main thing is to just keep going. And I know like on some level, it's like, why even bother? Like, why even bother any of this? But on another level, I know it's important and I know I have to stick with it. So I'm just sticking it out, still doing my workout. And even though I saw that number on the scale, I'm like, I'm gonna get my workout in this morning and go to mom's group and just, you know, chug along with it. I still ate lots of stuff today. I ended up feeling really, really full after lunch. Like I ate a big old lunch and I was like, oh, this is why I don't overeat, because it does not feel pleasant. It is what it is. You learn these things and, you know, enough times trying to learn the same lessons, eventually maybe it will stick. We'll see. Maybe next month I'm going to do the exact same thing, like overeat, feel miserable for a while and be like, oh yeah, that's why I don't do that again. Anyway, all that to say, still on track. Really happy we're moving into like the second week of me like really hardcore tracking things, trying to do the strength training, trying to do all the right things. My main thing that I sucked at this week was sleep. I still am on the track of like not wanting to go to bed on time, and it's so hard because that's my kid-free time. I like that time. That's the time Johnny's up. He doesn't get up early, so I have the early morning like as my me time, and then the evening is our time together. And it's really hard to be like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed super early because I wanna work out and I wanna prioritize sleep. That part is still a major work in progress. Don't go to sleep when I should go to sleep. But anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. It was kind of all over the place. Again, it's nighttime. I'm not as like organized with my thoughts as I would be during the day, but I'm really excited to be able to film at night now. Like, look, I can see. It's wonderful. I hope you guys liked it nonetheless. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And same question as I had for you guys last week. What is one thing you are doing today to improve your health for tomorrow? Let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you guys have a great day. I hope your fitness and everything's going really well, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.